Now I know at times I come across a bit grumpy, a bit glum. Yeah, I do think we need to start to get bloody serious about things. We need to grow up. That said, if you met me at any other time, if you actually met me, you'd find that I'm the clown. I actually am a bit of a clown. There's some people that reckon I'm cuckoo as. Some people reckon I'm funny as. I wouldn't say I'm that funny. But I don't take myself too seriously. I take life seriously. But life's there to be lived. And that's why we need to take some shit serious. Life's there to be lived, not just existed inside your little how many feet square box that you live in. 1 story, 2 story, 3 bedroom, whatever. You know, we need to do more outside, to enjoy outside, other than just mowing the lawn to please your landlord or to please your neighbours or to please yourself. There's more to life than that. There's experiences to be had. There's one thing I do know. All the technocrats over in Silicon Valley and stuff, they're all on some pretty serious drugs, and that's actually been proven as a fact. There's a lot of people around the world that are on some pretty crazy drugs, hallucinogens and psychedelics and so forth. Why is it okay for them, but it's not okay for us? Just a question. I mean, these are the people that are designing. Elon Musk loves his drugs. Loves his drugs. Ketamine. Ketamine's their drug of choice. Okay. Fair enough, whatever. But my point is, we got to walk away from the bullshit. The shit that's keeping us under the thumb. And if you don't want to listen to me say it, it's easy fix. Let's flip this shit round. Flipping the flop and the flop and the flipping. I can't seem to get my CD to stop skipping. Check it out, jump around, flap it out and flop it out. Swing it around, bang that feeler on the feeling, bang her on the ground. Obviously, know your partner. You want to get on, but you can't get off. Let's listen to Jim Breuer say it. Come on, baby, you know. We don't take it still too serious. Oh, wow. Fair enough. Not sure what happened there.
Why, hello. What's happening, YouTubers? We're live. This is Jim Breuer live. And before we even listen, we're going to get into some stuff tonight. We're going to get into a lot of stuff tonight.
Okay, Jim, just a disclaimer for myself. I don't want to pinch any copyright stuff. I know I'm saying this is Jim all the way. I'm not stealing anything. I'm just borrowing it indefinitely. Why? Because I love the message. There you go.
But let's there's a lot of directions to go tonight, okay? We're going to go after the obvious. We're going to talk about the obvious, but I want to take my time and really get into this. But right out of the gate, I would like to thank Israel for putting in $45 million of ads into YouTube. Thank you, Israel. Perhaps the first country in the world that spends money for a "We're a Nice Guy" campaign. Like, what? This is, I'm not lying. Israel government signed a $45 million contract with Google for an extensive digital advertising campaign, which includes placing ads on YouTube, okay, and all this other stuff. And the purpose, here's the purpose. The campaign's messages are designed to counter mounting international criticism regarding the war in Gaza, including reports of a man-made famine. So this is the first country in the world that I know of, and listen, this is not against the Jewish faith whatsoever. God bless you for having faith in whatever you're into. This has nothing against the people of Israel. You live there. All humans are blessed by Almighty God, in my opinion. What it is the Israeli government. This is so funny that they get together like, I don't know if you checked lately, but we're not doing good. People are they're not buying the, bombing Sudan and bombing Qatar and bombing everywhere. It's not a good look, you know what I mean? I mean, we can only say we're defending for so long. So, I got an idea. Why don't we buy ads in Google? Let's do it. Hey, everyone, we're Israel. We're good. Here's some, we just want to tell you here in Israel, although rockets are going off, it's all good. We're here to help the world. We're after the bad guys. We're here for you, to let you know we're here for the good of humanity. That's what we're here to give this $45 million to YouTube. So thank you, Israel, for putting in that money for all the YouTube stuff. I cannot thank you enough. So if you see an ad and it's from Israel, thank them. Thank them. You think one person in their campaign, you think there was anyone in the promotion department going, maybe we should just stop bombing everywhere? Nah, we got money. Isn't that money? $45 million. Well, once again, thank you, Israel, for your contribution. So, a lot of you are, this took me a while to really think about. Okay, this one, we're going to talk about the obvious of what happened last week. And listen, we're going to take away there's people online, there's people saying, did you see, the guys with hands, did you see this? Whatever the chatter is, here's where I'm begging you to just take a couple steps back, because you know how many messages I got? Be careful. Oh my God, be careful. Should be careful. This happened because it's freedom and blah, blah, blah. And anyone that wants to speak free, it's fear. Fear. Don't you think it's interesting that not only in America, but England, Australia, a lot of countries, for the first time in their history, Nepal just overthrown their government, the people did, we'll get into that. It's the first time that I can remember in my lifetime that people do not trust any news agency, and they're starting not to trust their own governments. And that pains me to say that even here. Yeah, no, I'm being honest. I'm a little skeptical. I know it was a couple years ago when they're like, we will determine who is essential. You will close all the businesses. We will determine who is essential. You call the Germans Nazis, but it was happening right here. Don't ever forget that. And every media outlet installed their fear. So I just find it, think about this. Just think about this. What's the most important part of your human existence? Your time, your energy, your love, your faith. All those things were attacked. And I don't care what side you lie on. This was in my opinion, this is the great monster. Sire, we have an issue. Please do tell us. Well, they're not trusting us, and the race war didn't help with the Ukrainian girl. We tried very hard to push that one. However, the white people didn't uprise. I know, the race is having a difficult time. More blacks and whites are discussing with one another. Not a good thing. Yes, sire. We need something to install fear. Because when fear is installed in the humans, they look at us for their information. Yes, I love it, sire. And think about how many of you spent 24/7. Did you see what happened? Did you see what happened? Oh my God, what happened? I'm pissed. I want to. Oh my God! And this one, the lefties, and the thing, and the transgenders, and the Democrats, and the thing, and the Israelis, and the thing, and they got you. They got you. We have them, sire. They're watching us. You all ran to your outlets thinking you're going to get the answer you want to appease your emotions from this event. They controlled your time, your energy, your reactions, your emotions. Dude, I went to Las Vegas this weekend, which, by the way, you should just go there naked, because I've never... You go to dinner in Las Vegas and you're dropping $200-300 a couple. It was disturbing. And listen, I love my wife. I bought tickets to see the Eagles concert. $800 on StubHub. What really pisses me off is when did it become legal to buy tickets and then sell them as a scalper? Dude, like, you can't buy tickets. You got to go through scalper organizations. So I got $800. My wife's sitting next to me. I think we're in the third song, and she's like this. After we just dropped $350 for having chicken and like a funky drink. Because that's another thing. When did these chefs, like, this is the smash burger chef, and he's the tattooed chicken making guy, and it costs, it's chicken. All these cooks, it's chicken and burgers. Stop. I don't care if he's got funky white hair or tattoos or whatever. It's not worth $300 everywhere you go. So with that said, my wife takes an $800 nap. But while I was in Vegas, I was with some other couples. And on my life, every single moment, oh my God, they say the shooter was this. Oh my God, it's a transgender. Oh my God, Trump just tweeted this. Blah, 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 blah. What do you think is really going on? You know what? Do you think it sucked you like a vacuum? And they got your energy. They got your time. They installed fear. That's what the monsters want. How do you not see that?
Is time running out to create a world we'd be proud to leave behind?
Do you remember 9/11? We ran to the television. Oh my God, who do you think it was? Oh my God, they found the passport. Quack, quack. Hey, look, in the rubble, we found the passport. They're a bunch of extremist Muslims. Quack, quack. But when you watch 24/7, people were pissed. You took your emotions, they took everything, they took your energy. How many of you obsessed? You wake up in the morning to bring your child to school and you're not paying attention because you're scrolling about 24/7 about Charlie. And you're sitting there like you didn't call someone because you're upset. And you call someone, all you're talking about is like, I can't believe this happened, and I can't believe this happened. They got you. CNN, Fox, social media, none of it is gonna give you the answer you truly need to understand this vicious monster. Your faith. Your God.
I can't believe he said God.
Yeah, I said it. Your faith, your God, your intuition. That's the only thing that's going to protect your life. Your morality. Whenever these monsters look at me, can you believe it was a this and a this? Me personally, I don't buy a lot of the story. That's just me. I'm not saying not assassinate. I'm not saying that. But like an hour, like, okay, we got everything. We caught him in 33 hours. And we found the gun. And we got it. And everything's good. Okay. Next subject. What? Show the shooter. Oh, he's like a 20-year-old kid. Hey, I'm the one who shot him. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And quite honestly, I don't think we're ever going to know. We're never going to know. But I do know this. Your energy is going to be sucked. Your fear is going to enhance. Your anxiety is going to go up. Your hatred is going to build. You're going to walk away from God. You're going to walk away from your morality. And you're going to allow your energy to get sucked into the monster's vacuum. That's what's been controlling all of humanity forever. Walk away. What's the worst for? And that's another thing. Don't get upset by the human beings that are saying vile, disturbing things, that are trying to make this political. Political is a nice word for division. That's all it is. It's just division. Political. This is politics. No, it's not. It's division. That's all it is.
Yeah. This is where I could take a leap out of his book. I get upset by the talking heads here in Australia who think they have all the answers. Listen to what he says, because this is exactly what they're up to. It's exactly what they're up to.
Either on the Phillies team or you're on the Yankees team. It's a team. You pick a team, and no matter what your team does, that's it. That's it. It's my team. Doesn't matter. It's my team, and that's that. And we'll kill and we'll fight.
Ricardo Bosie, Carl Oboe, Dave Graham, Graham Hood, Como John Wilson, Tim Dwyer, Shallow Chow, whatever his name is. All of them. Mark and Sam after work even. Lady Liberty. The list goes on and on and on. Nugget, right here in Tasmania. A lot of them are actually just talking absolute garbage, sucking in all the dreamcatcher trippers who can't decide what religion they want to follow, and they're just being controlled by the absolute garbage with their tarot cards and rune stones and numerology and all that witchy-doo-dah stuff. So we all argue with each other over which is the right way to go about it. There's only one right way to go about it, is to not go about it. Just don't. Listen to what he says. Just stop. Just walk away. He's right. Absolutely spot on.
It doesn't matter. It's what they want. What's the Matrix say? It's either the blue pill or the red pill. The red pill is just going to offer you truth. That's it. And how hard is the truth? Once you know the truth, is it really going to affect your day if I have love and I have forgiveness and I...
Okay, this is the only thing where I think he needs to go back and watch the Matrix again to figure that bit out. Because there's the third choice that nobody takes, which is no pill. The red pill is just another form of control. It's the no pill. Walk away.
I have faith and morality, and I want to give something to another human being, whether it be a smile, a pat on the back, a hug, even if they're disturbed, even if they hate me. That's the least you can give back. The monster wants you to, he wants to bring that out of you. That's how the beast works, and the beast is working right now. Sire, we have them exactly where we want them. And we're going to get into a lot of this. I'm going to show you examples. I'm going to show you videos today. Let the haters hate. Because don't you feel we're at a time in history? Dude, I've been around the world. I spent years in Long Island, years in Harlem. I went to Egypt. I've been to almost every continent. People just want to be people. What Bob Marley say? All governments are illegal. Well, I'm not sure if I believe that. That's okay. That's okay. Let's keep allowing 300 people to decide who gets to go to war and who gets to kill one another and who gets vaccinated. That's fine. Blue pill. Stay in your world. And you'll defend that world. Red pill. I know the truth. I can live on. I can forgive. I can preach love. I can look after each other, and I can turn this noise off. I'm turning the noise off. That was traumatic. It was traumatizing. My question to you is, how does social media allow that trauma video to play that long? How is it? That was on a long time. And it was disturbing, to say the least. I don't know about you, and I know this is a little twisted part, but I saw this thing in Thailand where this poor zookeeper, it's a zoo where you drive around, and he got out of the car for 1 second and a pack of lions got him. They just, the lion took him down. Now the crazy part of me, I wanted to, I was like, oh my God, and you see them eating it, but they blurred it out. Go look at violent videos, they blur it out. How do you show that? We were on TikTok Live, and they shut us down the last show. And yet you're watching, you're allowing that to play over and over? You don't think that's pretty sick, if you ask me. Or was it on purpose? I don't know. But here's the thing about haters. Don't you think we're in a time where we are elevating? And what I mean by that is, you're either team truth, team human, or team cynical, team liar, team hater. And that's where we're at. Let these people, we don't know what's wrong with them. I've heard people go, oh, I'm glad it happened. You know that's sick. I know that's sick. But I ain't going to allow a sick individual to infiltrate my emotions. I know that person's sick. There's people in comedy clubs right now. My friend called me up tonight. He's like, dude, the New York comedy clubs, I'm sick and tired. The comics are saying, well, if you speak hatred, that's what happens. Those are sick individuals. Those are individuals that would never look a child.
I'm happy.
See, we're forgetting about humans. Humans. We got to remember we're humans. Human. Human first. A ball player. You can hate a ball player. I'm a fucking ball player. That ball player is a human. He may have something going on with his wife. He may have a sick child. Maybe that's why he's in a slump. You don't know. Everyone's human. And we're talking about humans here. And to have a human being and have anybody, no matter what you believe, to go, glad it happened, they're sick. Don't feed into their sickness. You control that. You control that. You can either allow it to infiltrate you, because then it owns you. You are now owned by that. Can't believe they said that's twisted bastards. I want revenge. I want to gain. I want to take care. I want to gain. And the people going, oh, what are we going to do now? Like, we're afraid to say anything. That's what they want. Fear. Fear. What'd Yoda say? Fear leads to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. You know how many times during COVID, people's fear. What do you mean you're not vaccinated? Do you know what? You're going to kill all of us. Oh, okay. Okay. That's their fear. Fear controls them. And then that fear turns into hate. I hate this guy. You know how many people I had online going, your father would not be proud of you. Your wife had cancer, and you question science and the doctors. Those are disturbing human beings, and they are based out of fear. Fear that they're going to lose their job. Fear that they may die. Fear that they're going to get sick. I got news for everyone. We're all going to be dead. We're all going to be dead. We're all on borrowed time. You may plan all you want. I may plan all I want. But at the end of the day, only one entity knows the plan. And I think a lot of us know how to relate to that. So all I'm asking you is, don't get caught up in the monsters. Don't get caught up in the monsters. They're sick. All you do is send them love. You see a homeless person, do you look at him and go, oh, you sick? You're like, oh man, you're right. I'm sorry, dude. Like, I'm glad this happened. Those are sick individuals. And these sick individuals are in our colleges, they're in our universities, they're on our streets, they're in the comedy clubs, they're online. This is a spiritual war. Do you not get that yet? Spiritual. Don't let this stop you from empowerment. Don't let this stop you from speaking your mind. Don't let this stop you from touching someone's heart and giving them love, no matter how hateful they are, no matter how much they disagree with you. That's it. You know, didn't your mother, my mom used to say, you get, I don't know if this is the exact thing, but my mom would say, you get a lot more from honey than vinegar. Which basically what she's saying is, when you feed someone honey, you're going to get a better result than constantly giving them vinegar. I was with a friend a couple weeks ago, and this person, everything out of their mouth was just non-stop negative. And I said, I gotta stop hanging out with you. And I would try to give them advice or some, godly love. Like, hey man, why'd you think of things this way and blah, blah, blah. Those people, unfortunately, they're stuck in their world. Let them just be against the tube. The demons, yes, sire, we have them watching us 24/7 again. At the end of the day, This should bring people closer. Is it going to do that? I don't know. This should bring out more love. There's children involved here. There's children involved. And the people that say, I'm glad this happened, they're cowards. Would they go to that child? Would they have the audacity to go to that child and say, I'm glad this happened? That's a demon. That's a demon. When you got people launching missiles, and you got people murdering one another, and you got people killing one another and slicing one another. Charlie didn't do any of that. He questioned things. I love people say, oh, you know, his hate speech. What hate speech? What hate speech? He said a lot of things I agreed with. I believe the college is a scam. Sorry. It's just me. Call me crazy. Send them to college, put them in debt, let's indoctrinate them. They come out, they don't know if they're boys or girls, this and that. And you learn everything on Google. You learn everything on YouTube. You know, years ago, if I wanted to learn guitar, it would take me years. Because you have to go every Tuesday, whatever day, after school, and your mom like, did you do your homework? Because you're not taking guitar lessons if you didn't do your homework. And, you know, I'd lie to her like, yeah, I did my homework. Of course I did my homework. Of course I did my homework. I wouldn't do that, just play guitar. And then you, bing, bang, bing. Oh, today we're going to try the A, bang, bing, bang. And it would take me 3.5 years to learn one Scorpions riff. A lot of you don't even know who the Scorpions are. But that's okay. I do, some of my fans do, and that's all that matters. We'll say an AC/DC riff. Today, kids are learning in 3 weeks because they're on YouTube. Everything you want to learn is on YouTube. Sorry. Now, do certain colleges help with certain things? Yeah, but 4 years and learning about a bunch of horses' ass stuff? You know how many people go to college and they're like, I'm taking psychology, but I gotta learn how to fart Yankee Doodle for 3 semesters, and it's costing me $40,000. I gotta take poetry. Like, what are you talking about? And when you send your kids to school, it's the worst food, it's drinking, getting high, banging each other, the morality plummets. It's a cesspool of madness. How many people are leaving college right now going, I just got a job worth $300,000? I would like to find that chart. So yeah, there was a lot of things I agree with Charlie. A lot. Pretty much most of it. Charlie started tapping into something towards the end, which I thought was fascinating because that was my only, whoa. And out of respect, I would never, it doesn't matter. I loved the human being. I loved the human being, Charlie Kirk. I respected the human being, Charlie Kirk. And most of you should too. Because he's a human being just trying to make an effort. Right now, there's only about 8 haters going, this son of a bitch, he hasn't bagged like a goat since Saturday Night Live. So with that said, I got a lot of things to talk about, by the way. So here's another one. Always, when things go down in this massive, gigantic news spill and obsesses you, and people are in coffee shops and they're on the phone for hours and they can't believe this is going on, it's always good to look at what other things happened that day, or what kind of things they were trying to pass either in government or somewhere else. Let's take a look at after Charlie Kirk's death, U.S. government blocked Epstein file release. Think about that. 3 hours? 3 hours. 3 hours after Charlie Kirk is pronounced dead. Hey, this is a good time to, let's block those Epstein out. Nobody wants to hear about, kiddies, you know what I mean? Do we really need to know what's going on the island with little kids? Do we have to know about that? Think about that. Are you going to stop talking about Epstein? Are you going to stop talking about it? Are we going to pretend it just, you know what? Boy, because this really outweighs that now, does it? Really outweighs it. Charlie Kirk news. Where's Epstein's? Where's the files? You know what was interesting? The head of our FBI, I think it was Cash Patel. And by the way, some people say stop doing politics. This is not politics. It's just conversation. I'm not politically affiliated with anyone. I'm just questioning life. And if you feel you need to categorize me, that's on you. Because I'll never categorize myself, ever. I've never been that way from school. I hung out with the jocks. I hung out with the nerds. I hung out with every group. Every group. I never got caught up in a group. Ever, ever, ever. That's just limiting your life. That's limiting your potential. Why would I say I'm this or I'm that? You're limiting yourself. They blocked Epstein. What? See, are you Democrat? Are you Republican? Are you a Christian? Are you Jewish? Are you Muslim? Are you liberal? Does any of that matter when it comes to Epstein Islands? Does any of that matter? Because ain't nobody. Think of all the things our government don't get along with. But yet, 3 hours after this event, they blocked Epstein file release. I'll let you chew on that one. The Pentagon, from boycotting Israel, proposed a bill for Rubio revoke. Can we talk about this guy? I live in Florida. You can't make this up. Now, I need to preface this. Listen to me. Listen to me. This has nothing to do with your faith. It has nothing to do if you're Jewish. I have nothing but love for all of humanity. It has nothing to do with if you're from Israel. However, do you know Brian Most? Do you know who Brian Most is? Mast? M-A-S-T? Brian Mast. Do you know who that is? This is Brian Mast. I want you all to think about something here. Think about this. Think about this. Brian Mast, he's in Florida. Okay? He labels himself as Republican. So if you're on that team, listen up. This guy, you can't make this up. What is he? Show me what he did. He tried to pass a bill. You ready for this? If you speak... No, go to the top. Go to the top. Yeah. He tried to pass a bill. He's a lawmaker in the House of Representatives. And he tried to bring it to Secretary of State Rubio that if you speak negative about Israel, we can take your passport away and you're not allowed to go anywhere. Think about that. Think about that. You're just having a conversation. You're like, I don't know. I mean, I get Hamas is a bad guy, but do we have to bomb everywhere? I can't wait for... We're really sorry, but your cruise has been canceled. What? No talking about... Like, what you... So, if we talk about Nicaragua, I can't stand Nicaraguans. I don't like that they're only this big. I don't like that they speak with an accent. You can travel wherever you want. You want to go. You want to go to Europe? Go ahead. You want to go to Italy? Go ahead. You want to go to Australia? You can say whatever you want about Sweden. I can't stand the Swedes. Their chocolate is overrated. They pretend that they're the good guy, but we all know they got CERN. I don't trust that Sweden. And by the way, why is Swiss at where the Pope is? And I'm just saying, it's a little weird that they all look like Circus Olay hanging out the Vatican. It's a little weird. I don't know if you've seen them. Oh, you say that? You can go on your cruise, wherever you want. I want to go to Africa, wherever you want. Talk about Israel. We will take their passports away, and they won't be able to travel anywhere. Do you hear? Are you comprehending this? So, this is what I don't get. This makes me think about Bob Marley when he goes, "All governments." This man was voted in. This man. How do you get there? How do you get there? So you got to be in a room, right? Because they got to come up with these bills whenever they want. Okay, so you're coming up like, "Hey, how you doing? What's his name?" Brian. "Hey, Brian, how you doing? The hair looks great." "Thanks, man. If you're gonna, he's a good-looking guy. Looks like a nice guy." "Hey, Brian, you got anything?" Like, some guys were like, "Well, what do you got?" "I feel like we should help the Everglades since we're in Florida. People are starting to buy up a lot of land, and we're kind of losing a lot of the alligators." "Yeah, maybe we'll pass something like that. Maybe we protect some of the wildlife." "You know what? The chemicals in the sky, we're still seeing the lines. Maybe we really hit that harder. You know what? That's a good idea. Brian, what do you got?" "If you talk about Israel, we take your passport away." Was there anyone that proofread what this guy handed? Like, this is something you do when you're lit up with your friends, and you show up. Like, did Brian show up the early morning? "Okay, I know I gotta come up with a bill, and I thought if you see bad things about Israel, you can't travel. Okay, I'm gonna go sleep." Like, what brings you to the does he have an assistant? Does Brian have an assistant that proofreads? No one proofread Brian Most of Florida and said, "Dude, are you serious right now? You know this is the First Amendment of America, so what you're saying is, like, as a Republican, you're saying that if we talk bad about Israel, we should be able to take your passport away and you can't travel? Like, is this a joke or no?" And did he look him in the face and go, "No, it's not a joke"?
It's not crafty. It's your craft. It's not DIY. It's do it.
What is that? What is that? Brian, can we try to get Brian on the show? Brian, could you please come on the show live, uncensored, and explain how you go, "I got a great idea for a bill. If you speak negative about a certain blah, you can't travel." Do you realize the only thing missing from that is someone walking like this? That's the only thing missing. Brian must have walked in. Look, that's the only thing missing from you giving that bill. "I have a great idea." Wow. Hey, Brian, please call in. Let us know. Maybe you were hammered. Maybe you were high. Maybe you hasn't met up. Maybe it was a goof. Maybe it was a goof. But of all the countries in the world, you can't speak about the funders. I don't know. Maybe we're all supposed to wake up here, which is also going to bring us into the next interesting subject. When this all went down, by the way, right after Brian masked, what was the other thing that was shown? Can you have that back up, Kyle? What's the next one? Yeah. Passports, House of Proofs. Here we go. After Charlie Kirk situation. The House approves $650 million, not for veterans of foreign wars, not for people with psychological problems, not for cities that have been destroyed, not for fixing roads, not for the better of humanity, but our own government approves $650 million for Israel's missile defense. All right, I just got a few questions. Again, I have nothing against the people of Israel, and I have nothing against people that are Jewish. Zero whatsoever. My question is, you work, okay? You work, you're all working, and then you come home and they go, we're going to take this out of your paycheck. But I worked, yeah, I know, but this is us because we're the government and you trust us. Here, Israel. What's that for? Defense missiles. Defense missiles? When was the last time, just a question, when was the last time Israel was going, look out! Here comes a missile! The last I checked, they bombed everybody around them. They're like, first of all, okay. Let's talk about the word defense. What is the word defense? Defense means you're in a defensive mode, okay? Which means you're being attacked, all right? Now, for those of you that will say, well, October 7th, okay, I'll give you October 7th. And we're going to talk about a clip that Charlie Kirk talked about October 7th, which I also talked about. And again, please, if you're Jewish, don't be upset. It has nothing against you. And if you're the people of Israel, don't be upset. I'm just being... Did you ever see... I don't mean to make a dark situation and talk about it, but basically they look like the monkeys from Wizard of Oz flying into Israel. And they had parachutes. Did you see that? Did you see right there? This is October 7th. You understand that, right? So nobody saw this come with all its defense missiles, with all the technology, because they know Hamas is all over the strip. They know Hamas is in Qatar. They know Hamas is everywhere they bombed. They know it was not even in Qatar. It was a certain building. That's how brilliant Israel is. But yet, on October 7th, they didn't see the monkeys flying in with the parachutes. Nobody look here. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Why aren't you quit? If you're from Israel, I'd be pissed. If I was from Israel, I'd be like, should we call the police? There's go-karts with parachutes. Are they with us? There's go-karts with parachutes. Should we be notifying people? I mean... didn't we just get $650 million from America? How much money have they been getting from us? You can't. All our money, this alone should tell us to stop paying taxes to fund them. They dropped the ball. You blew it. You blew it. You blew it. You're supposed to be on defense. Show the monkey on the go-kart. You can't see this coming with $650 million, not even talking about all the other money that we've given you, then you lose it. You lost it. If I give you $8 and you can't make a steak sandwich and I ordered, well, guess what? You ain't getting any more money. It's that simple. I gave you $50, fix my car. Well, you don't know how to fix your car. Well, then you get no more money. It's common sense. We're not going to give money to the poor and build up some of the slums. We're not going to pay for the veterans whose knees were blown off and maybe they don't. You know, we're going to take their taxes and we're going to give it to Israel. for their defense. Wow. Red pill, blue pill. It's up to you. I mean, where are we? Huh? Charlie Kirk, by the way. Now listen. We took a video down, and we took it down out of respect, because a couple weeks ago, I was a little upset because there was a situation where I thought perhaps some of his backing was pressuring him to speak a certain way. Like I said, I believe in 95% of the thing. The human being. He's a human being, doesn't matter. But yet, he finally came out. And he put this out there. Basically, so if you're mad at what I just said, Charlie said a couple weeks ago, look what Charlie said. Look what Charlie said. I'm not blaming them.
Let these guys not know this was taking place.
So I've been to Israel many times. The whole country's a fortress. When I first heard this story, I still had the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that is an IDF soldier. Right? The whole country is surveilled. And so let me just kind of go through this. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel is on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu was basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? He said the judicial branch has too much power. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to lead. I'm not willing to go so far that saying that Netanyahu knew or there was intelligence here, but I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand down order? Was there a stand down order? 6 hours? I don't believe it. Israel's the size of New Jersey. When I took a helicopter ride from Jerusalem to the Gaza border, it's 45 minutes. Wow. 6 hours. They're live streaming the killing of Jews. Did somebody in the government say stand down? That is a legitimate, non-conspiracy question.
A sinister, well-funded institute is warping Australian public opinion for the benefit of its foreign militaristic masters. I'm Robert Barwick with the Citizens Party. The Australian Strategic Policy Institute pretends to be an independent, non-partisan think tank. The truth is that ASPI would be the bringers of the death and destruction of Australia and humanity, unless we stop them. We'll tell you more about ASPI in a minute, but you should know we're asking you to sign a petition calling upon Parliament to investigate ASPI for representing foreign influence in Australia. The 1960s cult classic movie, Dr. Strangelove, portrayed madmen who wanted nuclear war. While Dr. Strangelove was just a fictional movie, it was based in reality. President Dwight Eisenhower famously warned in 1961 about this danger.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes.
President Kennedy was soon confronted by the war machine. Documents declassified in the 1990s show the United States military presented President Kennedy with a plan for a surprise attack on the Soviet Union. When his military brass told him 130 million people would die in the Soviet Union and only 30 million in the United States, and that this is what victory looked like, JFK stormed away from the meeting in disgust, remarking scathingly to Secretary of State Dean Rusk, quote, and we call ourselves the human race. Fast forward 60 years into the future, moving past the Vietnam War, the Gulf War, the war in Afghanistan, the Iraq War, the war in Ukraine, and countless other US military deployments abroad. Today, the loudest and most insistent voice for that military-industrial complex coming from the United States is ASPI, the Australian Strategic Policy Institute, promoting war with China. ASPI maintains a constant barrage of propaganda about how events are somehow inevitably leading to war with China. The headlines scream, Australia faces the threat of war with China in 3 years, and we're not ready. What kind of madness is this? The truth is, China is our biggest trading partner. Last year, Australia had a $120 billion surplus with China. So who does ASPI represent, really? They clearly do not represent Australian interests. Even a simple search on Google gives the beginning of an answer. Notice what they say. ASPI receives funding from the Australian and overseas governments. Here's a chart of ASPI's funding. Notice the overseas government agencies represent 18% of their funding. And where does the foreign funding come from? The lion's share comes from the United States Department of Defense and State Department. Pearls and Irritations published an expose of ASPI called ASPI Sponsors Collect Billions from Defense. The article reported that ASPI foreign military hardware sponsors have been awarded $51.2 billion in contracts since the think tank was founded in 2001.
Yeah, how fitting was that for where we are in this? This is still going, we're about halfway through. I'm going to do the whole thing because it's just brilliant. This is one of the most brilliant episodes I've seen. It's about a month old. But how spot on the timing for that ad. Isn't it funny how they call it defence? They're offending people with this. I find it offensive. I'm offended by their claim of defence. Since when do you defend your shores in somebody else's country? Come on.
I didn't say it. But the fact that no one wants to ask that is not using your full capacity to not be emotionally involved. And I've said it before. How many countries have they bombed? How many countries have they bombed? They have bombed. Do we have that, Kyle? I'll tell you right now. They have bombed, obviously, Gaza City, the West Bank, Lebanon, Syria, Qatar, Yemen. In a week. So, and again, it's just questions. The question is, you're bombing all these countries because you say you have the intelligence to know Hamas is hiding in this small area right over there. Okay? Hamas is in this little building in Qatar over there. Click. Quick, get the ad campaign saying we're good. We're the good guys. Quick, Google. Here, Google. Not a C here. Hey. Thank you. Hey, Jim Breuer. Good show. Good show. I love it. I love what you say. I love what you're doing over there. Good stuff. Good stuff. You have the intelligence, and I don't know about you, but Hamas must be the entire Gaza Strip, because the entire Gaza Strip is destroyed. So there must be millions of Hamases. Millions. So you have the intelligence. This is what I don't understand. You have the intelligence to know where Hamas is in Syria. You have the intelligence to know where Hamas is, the Gaza Strip. You know and have the intelligence to know the precise place to bomb in 7 countries. But you don't know a bunch of monkeys from the Wizard of Oz are flying around with parachutes for a couple hours? Now, again, I don't know about you, but this sounds like an old script. Sounds like an old script. If I want two people to start fighting and I set the thing, I'm not saying they set up, it's just there's questions that nobody's asking. And, hey man, red pill, blue pill. You're working this week, right? This is going over there as it bombs for defense. I don't know. This is why A, we gotta wake up, and B, dude, you better find faith. We gotta narrow it down to God, but you also gotta call out the demons. You gotta stand up to the demons. The ones installing fear, the ones that won't allow you. This guy in Florida had the audacity, and his testicles must be the size of bowling balls, to come into America and say he's a Republican, and you challenge the First Amendment by saying you have the audacity to try to pass a bill or even hand it in. The fact that you wrote it. I'm sorry, you're suspect. How about we're not allowed to talk about America in a bad way? How about we're not? Because I'm paying taxes here in Florida, and that's another thing. Why is gas, is the economy getting better? How come gas is still over $3? It's still over $3. I thought everything was going down. It's not. It's really not. Our governments are illegal. Thank you, Bob. Damn, we missed the shot. Well, I'm getting cancer in his toe. Shut my guy up. Listen. All the bad energy in the world, focus on love. There's a great group, my Patreon group. They travel one another. They take care of one another. They're all different ages. They're all different genders. They're beautiful human beings. Start building your own communities and turn off this noise. Turn off the monsters. Learn to forgive people. Learn to forgive. But also, don't trust. Stop trusting people you've never met just because it's your government or their specialist or their doctors or whatever they are. Just ask. We've gone way too long without just asking questions. It's okay to ask questions. And if you fear that, they won. Don't you dare fear it. Don't fear it. We'll take, by the way, I am doing shows, comedy shows. New Brunswick, New Jersey, October 3rd to 6th. Tickets are on sale at JimBreuer.com. Stress Factory. Working out material, the 4th, 5th, 6th. Right? 4th, 5th, 6th? 4th, 5th, 3rd, 4th, 5th. 3rd, 4th, 5th. Also November 24th, Naples, Florida, downtown in the theater. That's the only shows. That's it for this year, period. The rest are going to be in 2026 and most likely won't start until February. So with that said, I'll open the forum. I want to thank you for hanging out. For those of you who are going to continue to hang out, and we'll take some questions from you. What do we got? Was today okay? Like, was I too much? Was I intense? Too intense? Are we okay? We got a good message?
I'll leave that there. An hour and 3. There you go. I couldn't say it any better than that in a million years. Oh, look, I'm a talking head. That ain't pretty, is it? Ooh. So that's how they go with the talking head. That now. I couldn't say it any better than that, honestly. I'm going to ask you all, how many of you have actually met Rick Posey? How many of you actually know Carl Leibold personally? other than his small little group of friends, or frenemies, or Guru, or Kaz. Como John. Tim Dwyer. You all probably might think you know them. You see, I've actually been in correspondence with these people, and then as soon as I've questioned them, they've either insulted me, told me to go away, told me if I wanted to be a member I had to pay money, or just completely ghosted me. Simply because I asked them a couple of questions. Questions I didn't want to answer. They were hard questions for them. Because it was, I think they know I was right. That they're not good people. There was only one way to answer those questions, was truthfully. Because they were ones they couldn't lie about. So rather than answer the questions, they either insulted me or chose to not talk to me again. They were just questions. They were just questions. Simple questions. Like Australia One here in Tasmania. I kept inviting them to come to council meetings because it's been admitted to me by local members of parliament that they're building a 15-minute digital smart city right here in Burnie. They told me to go away. We're busy trying to save the country. Oh, really? They kept hassling me to go and fill out this page to become a supporter. I said, I've been a supporter. I've been a supporter all along. No, you're not a member. They wanted me to pay for membership to make me a supporter. Do you have to pay membership to support your local football team? No. So what do you class as a supporter? So in other words, you're the fucking grifters. Grifters, shills and controlled opposition. That's all yous are. That's all these people are. I'm asking you to stop following this person, or that person, or the other person. And you all need to, they all say, oh no, that person's wrong, this person's wrong, or they say, no, we don't need to, unite. We all need to come up the hill on different sides. Really? I don't think so. There's only one hill and there's only one side. Why do you need to come up the hill? Why do we need to fight against them when we can just walk? We can choose to not fight them. We can choose not to have anything to do with them. That's how you get rid of problems in your life and bad people. You turn your back on them. If you choose to fight them, you're playing their game. It's really like, I don't understand how people aren't seeing that. Just walk away from it. And Jim Breuer talks about the red pill and the blue pill. I have a slightly different theory on that. He's right in what he's saying. Absolutely. I love and respect that man huge. What I'm saying is there's a red pill and a blue pill are offered as two choices for a reason. It's the blue party or the red party, Democrat, Republican, Labor, Liberal, coalition. We got a whole bunch. We got a bunch of bloody MDMA pill, Eki pills here. We got a green pill and a yellow pill and an orange pill. It's off the show. No pill. Why do you want to take a pill? Why do you want to pick a side? They all work for the same machine. Government. Why do you need to be governed? Are you a baby? Are you incapable of making decisions for yourself? We don't need their bullshit. We don't need it. Not at all. Yes, we need some form of governance, but that needs to be something that we put together ourselves. We need to walk away from their rubbish. Because the only thing they have to offer is pain, misery and theft. All they do is feed off us. That's all they do. You're not going to vote your way out of tyranny. You can't. It can't be done. You just can't vote your way out of tyranny. But you can walk away from it before it puts you in shackles. That's what I'm saying. Walk away from it before it puts you in shackles. That's about all I have to say, because he says it pretty good, I reckon. God bless you.